Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Sunny here, coming at you guys with another Neverwinter video. And by the title, you already know why you're here. But we're going to be starting a kind of a new series I'm going to be trying on the channel. Just like a guide to each class, you know, beginner, maybe intermediate, and then experienced type of deal. You know what I mean? Like separate. But with this video, I'm going to be talking about the Cleric to first start off. So let me know down in the comments. If we get this video to maybe like 10 likes, right? We ain't gonna go crazy. 10 likes, and you know, maybe I'll make another video, and you know, leave me down in the comments. Maybe you pick the classes. Like, I want you guys to determine what classes I do video on. Now, by any means do I want to say I am an expert in all the classes, but I do know general information on all of them, to where, you know, I get the broad range of idea. So my Cleric is my alt pretty much, but I still run her. And I want to make this video because I see a lot of DCs in Loom struggle with the CC part on the first boss, because that just seems to be one of those things where you either get it or you don't. It's just as simple as that. There's no in between to it. It's either you overheal or you don't heal enough, right? So I'm going to be talking about the basics kind of in this video, and just the powers and dailies I use, and that part specifically, because if you could do that part, you could pretty much do anything else in you know, that dungeon or lower dungeons than that. I haven't ran my DC Entomb yet, but you know, these powers work across all dungeons, right? So without further ado, let me just show you guys real quick. Now the big thing is the RT button. You know, you can use, I use Sacred Flame personally, but you can use Shatter and Light, or Shatter and Light, or Sacred Flame. Like, those two really don't matter personally. I don't believe so. But yeah, I just prefer Sacred Flame. Now the big thing is the one I use kind of majority of the time, truthfully, is Blessing of Battle. Now what this does is I'll read it for you. I'm just going to read it. Increases the effect of your next healing spell by 10%. But what it also does is when you use it, it also builds up your AP, as you can see. I mean, slowly, but instead of using like this encounter, you know, which also builds up your AP, right? You know, I use this in between because this increases the healing spell. So every time I cast the healing spell, I always use that. And I think that's where one of the problems lie in. Like, every time you use a heal, I honestly it's just like second nature to me now. You know what I mean? It's a learning curve. But once you get it down to where you just use this every time you heal, you'll be in a better situation. Now, I also pair that with the main hand. So this increases it by an additional 5%. So in total, right there, in just one at will move, you get a 15% increase on that next healing spell, right? So yeah, that's going to be going over the at wills really quickly. Sacred Flame and Blessing of Light every time you use a healing spell. So you're going to use Blessing of Light, and then boom, and you're going to pop your heal. Moving on to the encounters. Divine Glow and Bastion of Health never leave my never leave. You know what I mean? Getting the divinity regen is just, on those boss fights, it's just a no-brainer. Like, it's just one of those things, because Bastion of Health pretty much can, that's your bread and butter healing right there. I use Healing Word, and I kind of link Healing Word and Divine Glow together. So when I use Divine Glow, I use Healing Word, and I just kind of keep those two in sync, right? So when it's time to use, when it's time to use Divine Glow, okay, I know I gotta pop Healing Word, right? So I just kind of use those interchangeably, right? And like I said, once you get this down, it's just gonna be like, okay, boom, boom, boom. It's just like that, literally. It's just like a flow. It's just XYB, XY, you know what I mean? And you get it. Now, you can say you're struggling, right? And you're like, Sonny, you know what? I'm not doing enough outgoing healing. Then take off Healing Word and use Exaltation, right? I would recommend using this, if anything, if you're still having a hard time healing, you know, that CC aspect. Take off Healing Word just for that boss fight. After that, you know, I recommend, you know, putting back on the Healing Word. But just for that specific part, before, you know, once they get cocooned, put on, you know, slide in Exaltation for Healing Word, pop this, and then pop your Bastion of Health. So it's pretty much going to be like this then. just to show you really quickly. You're going to pop it, you know, use your soothing, and then boom, then you heal. Same thing, rinse and repeat. Boom, heal. Boom, heal. Right? It's as simple as that. And, you know, you don't got to go crazy with your divinity. Like, when you're in a boss fight, if you're running the healing word, it's going to keep them topped off pretty well, you know. Bastion of Health, I see sometimes people spam too much, and then they're sitting there recharging their divinity in the battle. Very rarely should you have to recharge your divinity, you know, so you're just going to have to watch your divinity consumption. Moving on to the dailies, Guardian of Life and Hollow Ground pretty much are the two that I always slot. I never move these out. I know some people use the Guardian of the Faith on the chest, but this is where we get into that CC aspect. When they get cocooned, you're going to make sure that you have your daily ready. So before you even jump into the battle, make sure you have your AP. And how you can do that is by using the encounter I talked about, Blessing of Light. So that's why it's good to use outside of combat. So before you jump into Portal, make sure you have your daily. That's cocoon. Pop your daily first, and then use your encounters, and you'll have no problem getting your AP back for the next CC. So that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of times I see DCs in it, you know what I mean? I see DCs 25k, 26k, who sometimes just mess up on the CC, and then I see DCs who just completely can't overheal it for some odd reason. And, you know, I would just have to assume it's got to be their powers, because I have no problem doing it, or they're just not doing the right rotation. So that's why I really want to make this video, just to kind of give a little bit more knowledge. Maybe you're struggling, maybe you know somebody. But yeah, anyway, we're moving on to the class features. We use Desperate Prayers, and I use Hollow Guide. Increases healing by 5% when the target is within 15. I forgot what that little thing meant, right? But that's why sometimes I don't understand. A lot of times DCs will be way back here trying to heal. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro. I ain't scared. I'd be right up here with the tank and the DPS. Boom. You know what I mean? Boom. I'll be right behind, you know, the DPS just to get that bonus healing effect. And I think that's another thing. You know what I mean? You don't gotta play so passive. Like, you don't need to be this far away, or, you know, whatever. Like, you don't need to play far away. You could be right on top of the DPS and the tank and still do just as good and survive. And then the other one is Desperate Prayers. When your divinity is below half of your maximum divinity, increase your outgoing healing by up to 20% as the divinity approaches 0. You know, so when you know, there's some instances where your divinity bar will start to drop, and when that does happen, you get that extra 20% healing on it. More specifically towards like the lightning worm, the second boss on Loom. And I pair the Guardian of Faith with the Guardian of Fate Faith, of course, so Persistent Guardian. And this daily is just amazing. And I usually use Hollow Ground in certain situations. But I usually 99% of the time use Guardian of Life just as an all-around killer for heals, truthfully. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. Let me know what you guys think about this little kind of series thing I want to try out. Like I said, if you guys have any recommendations for the next class you want to see, if this helped you at all, let me know down in the comments. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. It's been your boy Sunny, and I will check you guys on the next one. Peace out.